You ever notice how a drill sergeant is the only person on earth who can call you every name in the dictionary, and a few they made up on the spot, and you'll still say, "Thank you, Father," in your head, just for the privilege of stopping the front-leaning rest? I was telling Martha, modern bosses are scary. Try a man who thinks 4 a.m. is sleeping in and your soul is his personal property. My DS, Sergeant Miller, looked at my bunk and asked if I'd made it for a human or a cattywampus giraffe. I told him I did my best. He told me my best looked like a crime scene and made me apologize to the blanket for offending its dignity. I spent 20 minutes saying sorry to a wool sheet while Miller watched with a look of pure, unadulterated joy. We had a recruit who forgot his rifle at the mess hall. Miller didn't scream. He just whispered, "Private, your rifle is lonely." That kid had to sleep holding the rifle like a teddy bear and sing it, lullaby and goodnight, every time Miller walked past the barracks. For Pete's sake, the rifle looked more embarrassed than the kid did. Miller once asked a private if he knew why the grass was green. The kid started talking about chlorophyll and science. Miller just stared at him until the kid started sweating. Miller leaned in and growled, "No, you idiot. The grass is green because I told it to be. Now go tell the dirt it's a disappointment." I remember a guy who tried to hide a candy bar in his footlocker. Miller found it during an inspection like he had a radar for sugar. He didn't confiscate it. He made the kid eat it in front of us while we all did jumping jacks. Do you know how hard it is to watch a man eat a Snickers while your knees are screaming? That's psychological warfare. One morning, Miller decided we were breathing too loud. He told us we were wasting the Army's expensive oxygen. We had to hold our breath until we turned the color of a bruised plum. I swear, I saw my ancestors, and they were all doing push-ups too. And don't even get me started on what they call stress these days. I hear they have stress cards now. Back in my day, our stress card was a size 11 combat boot and a drill sergeant who hadn't had his coffee yet. A recruit once complained that the sergeant was hurting his feelings. The sergeant stopped, looked him dead in the eye, and asked if he had a receipt for those feelings. When the kid said no, the sergeant said, "Good, because I don't accept returns on garbage." At the firing range, a guy missed the target by about 10 feet. The DS didn't yell. He just handed the kid a bayonet and pointed at the target. He said, "Run up there and stab it, Private. It's the only way you're going to hit anything today without accidentally taking out a low-flying bird." Miller used to say his mother could outmarch us in high heels and a corset. We thought he was joking. Then his mother actually showed up for graduation. The woman looked like she could chew nails and spit out paper clips. We all stood a little straighter. We had a private who was always late. Miller told him he must be a time traveler from a dimension where clocks don't exist. He made the kid carry a 50-pound grandfather clock on every run for a week, so he never had an excuse to lose track of the seconds again. Miller caught a guy yawning during a briefing. He told him that if he was that tired, he must be a hibernating bear. For the rest of the day, that kid had to crawl on all fours and growl at anyone who walked by. Pure malarkey, but effective. If there's one thing I've learned about drill sergeants at my age, it's this: they aren't mean. They just have a very loud way of showing they care about you not getting shot because you were daydreaming about a cheeseburger. I once asked Miller why he was so hard on us. He didn't even blink. He said, "Walter, if you can survive me, a bullet is just a minor inconvenience." Then he made me do 50 push-ups for asking a question that required him to use his philosophical voice. On the last day, Miller told us we were the sorriest bunch of geezers in training he'd ever seen. He said it with a smile that looked like it hurt his face. That's when I knew I'd actually missed the old bat. A recruit tried to quit. Miller told him, "You can't quit. You're government property now. If you want to leave, you have to file a form in triplicate and have it signed by a ghost." The kid actually spent 3 hours looking for a ghost. Drill sergeants, 1. Whippersnappers, 0. Inspection day. Miller found a single hair on the floor. He called it the beast and said it was a safety hazard. Twee had to give the hair a full military funeral, complete with a shoebox casket and a eulogy about its bravery. The final march, 20 miles. My legs felt like they were made of wet noodles. Miller jogged past me backwards, and asked if I needed a stroller. I told him only if he was pushing it. I did 200 extra push-ups that night, but the look on his face was worth every one. Anyway, I'm going to go take a nap before Martha finds a way to turn the lawn mowing into a tactical exercise. If you've ever been called a puddle of disappointment by a man in a round hat, leave a comment. I'm going to close my eyes now. Get off my lawn.